What are we doing this week? We are doing Mineko's Night Market. Why are we doing it? Because I tried playing Ayuden Chronicles, and guess what? My controller broke. Then I tried playing, I can't even remember, it'll be on screen here. That also didn't work because that also required a controller. And I was screwed. Both of my controllers broken, whether it plugged in or not. So, roll the intro. With that out of the way, have you guys ever played a game where you're like, I am so frustrated, I just want to get through this, and when you get through all of it, you're just like, oh, this is actually really, really relaxing. Because Mineko's Night Market is exactly that. So I'm just gonna start with the gameplay first. Let's just like roll straight into it. The gameplay of Mineko's Night Market is very simple. It's not complicated, there's no fighting. You do some sneaking, you do some freeing of cats. Yeah, look at this. Literally, you can free the cats, and then once you freed all the cats in an area, you can pet the cats, which is very much appreciated. It was indeed as fantastic as you can think it is. And once you've got the cats freed, you can go into that area and farm it. It is not farming as in you plant stuff and then it grows. It's randomly generated. Each day, each area gets refreshed, and you just have to go in and hope that everything that you need is there. Point of frustration that I will lift up later. That's the gameplay. Mainly the focus of the game is collecting as many things as you can, building what the villagers need you to build for them, crafting them, just finding some materials for some people, delivering them, they give you some kind of reward. Up until you have all the recipes, they give you the recipes. Once you have all the recipes, they start giving you food and stuff. By that point of the game, you genuinely don't need food because you've got 3 hearts. So you can basically clear out an entire area with just all of the energy you have each day. Like, it doesn't matter if you're collecting wood, metals, stones, mulberries, bamboo, everything. Clay, you can just basically clear it out with your 3 initial hearts. So that's the basic gameplay, right? So it's difficult to say that I enjoyed it, because I got frustrated after a while. Not specifically for what you might think. There's 2 parts that annoyed me. Collecting flowers. Flowers are seasonal. The flower recipes require very specific flowers, and the flower recipe requirements don't change with the seasons. Like, each season has a yellow flower, a bluish flower, a pinkish flower, and I think the other one was what was it? I can't even remember, like purplish or something like that. Not entirely, but like a weird flower, right? So you would expect, okay, each season the flower arrangement slightly changed to fit with the flowers that you now have available. That's not true. I got stuck on this part of the game where I needed to get some temple flowers, or actually it's like Nico temple cat flower bouquet stuff. I couldn't make them because I needed a very specific flower. So I had to start waking up, sleeping, waking up, sleeping, waking up, sleeping, waking up, sleeping until the night market, which, by the way, the night market is once a week on Saturday nights. It's where you sell all the crafts and stuff that you've made to the villagers. You get significantly better prices. You can haggle, not worth haggling. You should be seeing it right now. It's very basic, and at the end of each night market there's like a little competition or a play or something, and you get a trophy. 16 to collect. I'm on like 12 now, so I'm basically there. I think I'm on 12. I might be on 10. Anyway, basic stuff. I'm not really going into the very nitty-gritty stuff with the gameplay because the gameplay is very basic. The gameplay is not the main purpose of this game, even though I can see there has been a lot of attention given to some parts of the gameplay. Like the craft, people made it very much clear that this is one of the main parts of the game. Even though I freaking hate some of the crafting, it was fun and it was worth doing every single time, especially with the profits that I got from it, right? That's the gameplay. Gameplay is easy. It's Mineko's night market. You move to a new town. That's part of the story. You basically join the night market. You start selling stuff. You buy new stuff to explore new areas. And that's it. That's all I can say about Mineko's night market's gameplay, because the gameplay is very simple, as is the graphics, as you can see. So let's move on to the story of Mineko's night market. The story of Mineko's night market starts 400-500 years ago with Nico, a cat. It's playing on screen right now. I can let them tell the story, but I'm not. So this cat is basically the little peach girl, but with a cat, right? Giant cat appears to farmer and his daughter. Giant cat helps him to farm more successfully. Jealous villager chases cat out of village. I think the girl goes searches for the cat, and the cat Nico goes and saves the girl from some crows or stuff. Basically, that's genuinely it. That's the entire story of the initial story. That's where it all started. The actual story of the game starts with us, Mineko, and her father moving to this little village. The village never gets a name. We never get the village of the island name either. I think we get one different island's name that we go to at the end of the game, but it's not important now, right? So from there, Mineko starts exploring the village. Initially, it's very basic stuff. We go flower farming. We go to the garden to pick some flowers and stuff. And we make some flower bouquets. And Bobo, most annoying character in the entire game, by the way, enlists us in helping to find Nico, which takes us to the initial Nico shrine, where we fall into some water and Nico actually saves us, delivers us. It's very cutesy, very funny. And from there, the story of the game is to find Nico. Eventually, we find Nico. While we are looking for Nico, we've got to circumnavigate some agents. The agents are catching cats because they hope that catching the cats will draw out Nico, which makes kind of some sort of sense. I don't actually know. So each new area you unlock, you go save all the cats in that area, disable something from the agents or just scare them away. And that's it. Then you can go farm there. Eventually Nico goes and hides in your backyard shed. Once you've got Nico in that shed, you start exploring much further and much faster. And to say the least, eventually, very obviously, the agents capture Nico. And we still don't know who hired the agents. That's like a big part of the story, but I kind of ignored it because I was like, yeah, I don't find this as important. I just kind of want to get through this. Because a big thing that becomes an annoyance that I'll touch on later is to progress the story, you need certain resources, which is a very annoying thing that I think you all understand once I start talking about it later. So that's basically it. You just find Nico. Nico gets taken by agents. You go save Nico. Find out that he has already been saved. And then the agents say that they're just going to go to the island that Nico is from. And then we, by the way, Mineko, who's a little girl, chooses to go there to try and save him. Navigate a whole bunch of agent bull twang. And that's like the overhead story. But the underlying story of Mineko's night market is a very cute, very touching story about a girl who has clearly lost her mother and their father who is trying his best to take care of her, moving to an island that he knows might not be initially the best thing for her, but reminds her less of her mother. Because that's something that I picked up, like that's one of the reasons he moved there. He didn't just move there on a whim. He knew it's a place that she would be safe and have fun, and that there are other children there. So that's kind of what I'm reading there. And eventually Mineko makes friends, and she starts thinking of the new house on the island as her home. and she no longer misses her friends, because she actually talks to Nico about this in one cutscene. It's very touching. It's a very, I want to say it's a melancholic story. You know, melancholic. Anyway, you guys know what I mean, right? So, very touching story. Very much worth it to just play through it. So, I think that's about all I've got to say about the story. Most of it is very predictable. You will not be confused at any point. You will not be like wondering. It's not some big mystery you've got to solve. It's very. I would play this game with my nieces that are like below 10, and they would be fine. They would understand it. It's actually not probably a game meant for me. Anyway, I still played it. I kind of did enjoy it eventually. Graphics. Mineko's Night Market is very basic graphics. I actually like it. It's very cute graphics. Like, genuinely, the cutest thing, and I'm a 31-year-old bearded, big, fat-ass guy, and when Mineko got into a little Nico costume, which is like a cat costume, I was just like, holy shit, that's the cutest thing I've seen in my life. That was just bleak. I said the F word. Genuinely, so cute. This game is cute in every single way. From the cats are cute, the graphics make it all cute, because the graphic kind of reminds me of somebody drawing everything, and probably everything was drawn, because there are no 3D graphics, everything is 2D graphics. There's this one part where one agent like freaked out and like turned around properly, and I was like, yeah, definitely got them, unfortunately. So it's very nice. The areas all look fantastic. My favorite area is the dark wood, where you harvest normal wood. This thing during normal time is fine. At night, it's got glowing mushrooms, and I'm a sucker for glowing mushrooms. If that's part of your art style, I'm immediately gonna love it. So, graphics, I've got no complaints. It's not a, I mean, this isn't Horizon Zero Dawn. It's Mineko's Night Market. It's a indie humble bundle game. There are some bad stuff. The initial bad thing that you will learn and very much get frustrated by is the collecting of stuff and the making of them. Every single part of this game requires you to collect something for someone. There's no part of the story where you're not doing that. And at the end of the story, they require you to collect quite a few things. And all of these things are easy and understandable. Like, I think it's bamboo, it's wood, it's paper, it's white hairballs, and it making a tent. All of those sounds like, yeah, that would annoy me, but they genuinely didn't. They were actually easy. The thing that was quite annoying was collecting washi paper. Now, collecting washi paper is not easy, and because you've got to make washi paper. They needed 30 washi paper. Washi paper is made by mulberry sticks that fall in the orchard where the mulberry trees are. Each tree in the orchard is a mulberry tree, and you need to collect quite a lot of mulberry sticks. It's free mulberry sticks for one washi paper. So when you've got to collect 30 washi papers, you need to collect 90 mulberry sticks. Actually easy enough in theory, because one loop through the dark forest gives you nearly 100 pieces of wood, right? So you would think it would be the same for the mulberry branches, but it's not. I think the most I ever collected on one day was like 24, 23, around there. So I spent about 5 days in a critical moment of the game where they tell you, we don't have a lot of time, we need to hurry. Right? I had to like wake up and go to the orchard, collect the mulberry freaking stuff, come back, make some washi paper, still didn't have enough. Because obviously, I didn't find the washi paper that important for anything else. So I didn't tell Nico when Nico could collect stuff to go and collect stuff. I just was like, yeah, go chill. So, yeah. That's number one of the bad stuff. Like, you are kind of gate-kept by having to collect a lot of stuff. And while that is part of the game, it does get frustrating at certain parts of the game, because you can't just leave a place after you've collected everything and then go back to a place, because you only can go to 2 places each day, which is actually a fine limitation. It's a pretty fun limitation. It makes the game a bit more strategic, right? But you can't just leave a place that you've collected everything and then immediately go back and have it be refreshed. You need to sleep. You must sleep. So if you are collecting a very specific thing that's pretty difficult to get, it becomes a multiple day thing, and you are always running on a little bit of a time schedule because you need to be ready for the next night market, because the night markets are where you make the most amount of money. So that's bad thing number one, like some little bit of collecting frustration that I found. The other bad thing that I found was indeed glitches. This game has quite a lot of glitches. There's a few parts where I got stuck. There's a few parts where things just happen because I have no idea. I ran into things that are just ghost things, like they're just I'm not able to get past them. But that's about it. Like okay, there's one other thing that annoyed me. The developers don't seem to know how to make scrollable stuff, because I can't scroll. Yeah, because the menus aren't exactly scrollable. So if there's multiple options, you can't scroll. Now, I don't know if this changes if I've got a controller, because obviously my controllers are broken. I was using keyboard to play this game. You don't ever use the mouse gets disabled. So it was a bit of annoying, because eventually I get to Nico, and Nico's got so many things that he can collect, but I can't just close the menu. But I didn't even know what to do at that point. But that's kind of the end of the bad stuff. Like, the programming is a bit iffy at points, but otherwise it's fine. I can tell this is definitely an indie game. I don't know if this was their first indie game. It kind of feels like their first indie game, but it was a good game. I still liked it, you know? So, should you play this game? That's actually a pretty easy yes. If you like chill games, if you like games with an easy to follow story, if you just want to relax a little bit, like if you've just spent 4 hours playing through Helldivers 2, you are just so adrenaline fueled that you can't even freaking sit still. Playing an hour of Mineko's Night Market will relax you. It will chill you down. You'll feel safe. You'll feel ready to go to bed. You'll be fine. If you wake up one Saturday morning and you're just like, oh man, I don't know what to play, I don't know what to do, Mineko's Night Market's there for you. Go in, have some fun. Once you're done with the story, Nico comes back, because the story does end with Nico not being there, by the way. But Nico does come back because the developers were like, okay, we want people to like finish the game, finish all the achievements. Nico comes back, you can go do a few things around town, you can finish getting all the people for the town, because you don't need everybody in the town to finish the game. And that's very appreciated. The game is definitely made after you finish the story to just be played for fun, just to relax, you know. It's very much worth it. I do recommend it. You should definitely play it. Okay, that's about it, right? I think you've got it all wrapped up. This thing is telling me that I've got about 18 minutes of recording, which is pretty good, which means that this should be pretty freaking nah. Thank you all for watching. This video is not as nearly as exciting as Horizon Zero Dawn's video was, which was intense and like almost freaking 35 minutes long. Yeah, it reached way up there. This video is much shorter. Thank you all for watching. I did not want to make another serious video this fast, because believe it or not, the more complex the video is, the more complex it is to edit. So I'm hoping, yeah, as I'm sitting here, I think I'm going to be probably using 7 hours editing this video, which is not that bad. I spent about 4 straight days editing Horizon Zero Dawn's video, so to give you guys like an idea of a balance there, just finishing that game was difficult. So thank you all for watching. You've been lovely as ever. I hope you've enjoyed the review, and I'll see you for the next one. And as always, I love you more than it was. And as always, I love you more than the next one. In the previous one.